Bonnie Blue just tried to break the internet. And instead, she might have just broken OnlyFans. In the span of a few months, she's gone from doing adult content to running full-blown stunts involving hundreds of men, a glass box, and a permanent ban. Now another creator, Sophie Rain, is calling her out, accusing her of destroying the platform from the inside and flexing her $76 million earnings without ever doing any of this circus-level content. So who is Bonnie Blue? What exactly did she do? And is this the beginning of the end for OnlyFans? Buckle up. This story is insane.
Legal, 18-year-olds. Because as I started my content, I realized it was not necessarily relatable. So it's the average person. And I wanted to make my content relatable. I'm just a girl, I'm relatable, I'm sort of the girl next door vibes. However, that does not portray online if I'm doing these rough, over-the-top scenes. And I want people to be able to watch my videos and be able to imagine themselves in it and, you know, connect with it.
How old are you?
25.
So you're very...
Let's talk about the challenge that took things from controversial to completely unhinged. Bonnie Blue announced she was going to sleep with 1,000 men in 12 hours. That's not a joke. That's not clickbait. That was the actual plan. And somehow, she didn't just hit that goal, she claimed she actually beat it, ending the day with a total of 1,057 men. And yeah, the internet had questions. Like, how? Why? And is she okay? Some people called it performance art, others called it empowerment, and a whole lot of people just called it insane. Not in a fun, campy way. In a should someone call someone kind of way. She filmed the entire thing, intending to upload it to OnlyFans and turn it into the most viewed and probably most talked about adult content of the year. But that didn't happen. OnlyFans shut it down almost instantly. Not a warning or a hey, maybe take that down. Just delete. Turns out, when you try to upload a massive, 12-hour marathon involving over 1,000 random men, you run into a couple of problems like no ID verification for most of the participants, no documented consent from everyone involved, and the fact that organizing something like this starts looking less like a content shoot and more like a lawsuit waiting to happen. From a platform standpoint, it was a nightmare. From a legal standpoint, even worse. And what Bonnie thought would be her viral masterpiece, her adult content version of breaking the sound barrier, ended up getting wiped from the internet before it could even make it to the front page. The backlash was brutal. Critics said it was reckless, degrading, and dangerous. Even fans who usually support bold adult creators were like, okay, but maybe not like this. And that was just the beginning.
Are you not worried about STDs?
Yeah, they get but like, also people should know you should get tested anyway.
Continued how it did for the first sort of 3-4 hours, I would have struggled.
So how it begun in the first 3-4 hours
Yeah.
is it was, what was it, like groups of 15, 20? Or maybe even more. You do lose count, but we had someone else counting that for us.
Yeah.
And it was just in, out, non-stop.
It was like, I was like on my back, on all positions, like everyone was just like on me at all times, which I absolutely loved. But after like 4 hours of basically not seeing any light because everyone was on top of me, I was like, okay, I need it to start like staggering out, which is why we did the groups of 5, then one-on-ones.
Before Bonnie Blue was breaking records, all platforms. With her 1,000 men challenge, she was already causing waves with what might be her most inspired idea yet. A college-themed orgasm contest. Yeah. You heard that right. Bonnie invited male college students, specifically broke, tuition-stressed students, to compete in a challenge where the goal was to give her the best orgasm. And the prize? Not a trophy. Not clout. Paid tuition. Because apparently, in Bonnie's world, scholarships and sex tapes go hand in hand. She promoted it like it was a TED Talk, framing the entire thing as a piece of performance art meant to challenge outdated views of sex, power, and the adult industry. She called it empowering, provocative, and disruptive. Which, yeah. Disruptive is one word for it. And listen, there were people who supported it. They praised her for pushing boundaries, owning her body, and flipping the power dynamic. But the rest of the internet? They were somewhere between confused, uncomfortable, and dialing up campus security. Because while Bonnie was busy saying this is about breaking stigmas, most people were like, did she just turn financial aid into a sex contest? There were real concerns. Like, was it ethical to dangle free education in front of desperate students in exchange for sex on camera? Was this empowerment? Or just exploitation with better lighting? And to make things murkier, the whole thing was filmed, monetized, and uploaded to her OnlyFans account. Because of course it was. It wasn't just about art or liberation. It was also content. Viral content. So now, Bonnie wasn't just the bold creator pushing limits. She was becoming a walking controversy, blurring the line between activism and spectacle, again and again. And while she kept defending herself online, saying that the patriarchy just can't handle this, OnlyFans was in the background like, yeah, we're watching this closely. Her account had already been flagged after the 1,057 men stunt. And this challenge didn't exactly help her case.
How does it actually work? What do you do? Like, you put a message out and you say...
Yeah, I'm like, hey boys, this is where I'm going to be. This is my location. You know, if you'd like to make content with me, you know, you're welcome to join the queue.
So, just when you thought the story couldn't get more chaotic, a girl came forward online and shared that her boyfriend, well, now ex, was one of the 1,000 men who participated in Bonnie's record-setting event. According to her, she had this gut feeling something wasn't right. She said she had a bad feeling. So she did what every emotionally spiraling girlfriend doesn't want to admit doing. She went through his phone. And what she found? Well, a surprise. There he was. Front and center. One of the 1,000. Smiling. Participating. And definitely not just there for moral support. She said she normally respects people's privacy, but in this case, her instincts were right. He had absolutely cheated with Bonnie during the challenge. And the kicker? The woman says she was devastated not just by the cheating, but by the fact that her boyfriend was willing to be just a statistic in a viral sex stunt.
This is the girl that just lost her fiancé. I don't know why you're so stressed about him being in my queue, because he was in me for a lot of it. So don't worry, he wasn't actually in the queue that long.
Right when it seemed like things couldn't get more out of control, a video showed up on Bonnie Blue's Instagram, posted by her sister. In it, Bonnie was being arrested. Handcuffed, escorted by cops, no explanation. The caption read, "As you may have seen, Tia has been arrested. We still don't have clarity on the situation, but we'll keep you all in the loop." People immediately started speculating. Was it for the 1,000-man challenge? The college stunt? Something worse? But just as fast as the shock hit, so did the doubt. Fans pointed out how staged it looked. The camera angle, the timing, the fact her sister just happened to be recording like it was an episode trailer. Let's be real, Bonnie has a history of viral chaos. So was this real? Or just the next phase of the content machine? No one really knows. But staged or not, it kept her name trending and set the stage for what came next. Because the final stunt would get her banned. In an interview with The Standoff, Bonnie doubled down on everything. No regrets. No apologies. When asked about the type of men involved in her challenge, she said, "I don't care if the guy is 18 or 80 years old. I'd still do it. Yep. Whether you're fresh out of high school or collecting Social Security, if you're breathing, Bonnie's apparently down." She went on to say she genuinely enjoyed it and described the whole 1,000 men event like it was the highlight of her year. Not a stunt. Not a statement. Just something she was proud of. And if that wasn't enough, she added that her family supports her completely. According to her, they're behind her 100%, even through all the chaos, the bans, the controversies. Which raised a few eyebrows online. Because most people can't even post a thirst trap without their mom texting, "What is this?" But Bonnie? She's got family cheering her on as she breaks adult film records and gets kicked off platforms. It's wild. But it's also the Bonnie Blue brand at this point, unapologetic, extreme, and totally unbothered.
Out of the 1,000 men, there was a lot of barely legal
Yeah.
boys. Do you not have a problem with the fact that they're literally borderline underage?
No, because they're 18.
But they're still children.
Yeah, but they're 18.
What if he was 17?
Well, then no, because that'd be illegal.
Would you still, if it wasn't on camera?
No.
No, so your limit is 18 years
Yeah,
old. You're
majority
a pretty
jobs.
girl. You could have gone into modelling, you could have gone into acting, you could have been like an influencer.
It's also very hard to get into that.
But so is people.
Not
constantly.
really. Like, I love that, and that's what I've got passion about.
You have passion about having multiple men entering your body on a continuous basis.
Multiple orgasms a day. Like, just focus on pleasure and enjoyment.
Yeah.
I just get a lot more of it than most people.
And just when you thought the story had peaked, it didn't. Because Bonnie Blue had one more stunt planned. She wasn't satisfied with the 1,000-man challenge. Nope. She was already prepping to break her own record by attempting to sleep with 2,000 men in a single day. The name? Bonnie Blue's Petting Zoo. Yeah, that was the actual title. The concept? Bonnie, fully nude and restrained inside a transparent box, while attendees could, in her words, interact freely. She marketed it as art. The internet called it everything but. And that's when OnlyFans finally stepped in. Her account was permanently banned, not suspended, not warned, completely pulled from the platform. A spokesperson said, "Bonnie has taken things way too far. She was making tens of thousands a month via OnlyFans and now that's gone. Her page has officially been pulled. Her latest stunts have crossed a line." OnlyFans had no choice but to act. The ban was labeled as permanent for violating both the terms of service and the acceptable use policy. And just like that, the Bonnie Blue empire took a hit straight to the wallet. Bonnie once claimed to be earning over $689,000 a month on the platform. That's over $8 million a year, gone. The petting zoo stunt was scrapped. Her name trended again. But this time, not in the way she planned. What started as shock value marketing had officially gotten out of control. And now, the internet wasn't just watching, they were calling it out.
Bonnie Blue's Petting Zoo. If you don't know what this woman is about to be tied up in a glass box, naked, and is prepared to invite 2,000 men to come and do whatever they want to her in that box while she is naked and can't move, potentially. I shouldn't be shocked by things this woman is doing, but this for me is beyond revolting, and the message it's sending to young girls is quite frightening.
While Bonnie Blue was watching her career crumble, someone else was watching too, and she wasn't staying silent. Sophie Rain, one of the top earners on OnlyFans, came forward with a message, and she did not hold back. In a post that quickly went viral, Sophie called Bonnie out directly, saying, "Bonnie Blue is single-handedly ruining OnlyFans for everyone. It's no longer about women empowerment." And honestly, a lot of people agreed. Because while Bonnie was out here turning sex into a public record-breaking circus, Sophie was doing things very differently. She even threw shade with receipts, flexing the fact that she's made over $76 million on the platform. Without sleeping with 1,000 men in a day. Without getting banned. And without setting up a literal petting zoo experience. Both women are in the same industry, but clearly not playing the same game. And whoever is funding these women gotta be locked up. Because whether it's Bonnie's record-breaking challenges or Sophie's quiet millions, the real plot twist is how profitable this chaos has become. But at the end of the day, Bonnie's gone from top earner to permanently banned. From world records to headlines that even OnlyFans couldn't ignore. And while Sophie walks away with her millions, Bonnie walks away with the title no one asked for. The woman who pushed it too far.